Kelas.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you all feel well to join this meeting. And happy Labor Day. As I mentioned in the invitation, today we have something important to discuss. Due to this meeting about Labor Day, we will discuss more about worker strike. But more information will be explained by our manager. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you Mbak Zili for your time. Before we start the discussion today, is there anyone absent today? So our discussion will discontinue smoothly. Anyone?
So, ma'am, Bagus, he doesn't come today. He has sent me a message that he's sick. So today he is absent.
Okay, thanks for your answer, Java. I hope you can join in another time. So for Bagus, get well soon. So we can start the discussion. Okay. Would you like to read the issues that I gave to you, Miss Zili?
Okay, thank you for your time, Stina. So, strike action, also called labor strike on strike grief, is a work stoppage caused by the mass refusal of employees to work. A strike usually takes place in response to employee grievance. Strikes became important during the Industrial Revolution when mass labor became important in factories and mines. In most countries, they were quickly made illegal, as factory owners had far more political power than workers. So, strikes can be divided into two categories. The first one is about primary strikers when they have a dispute against their employer. In the strike, employees remain in and occupy the employer premises as a protest and means of forcing compliance with demands.
Okay, stop. What happened recently is more about primary strike. Of course, the workers are more are looking for the facilities and increase the wage level in yes. In case in economic strike, laborers demands increased wages, traveling allowance, house rent allowance, tears allowance, and other facilities such as like increase in privilege and leave, casual leave. So we have to anticipate anarchy strike. I'm afraid that there are some workers join some kinds of labor strike like that. I'm very, I want to anticipate this case.
Yes, ma'am. I agree with you. So far, we paid the workers at the government's standardization. Based on which standardization from Surakarta is around 2 million rupiah each month. And we gave the workers at least 3 million until 5 million rupiah. Well, it depends on the position. It can be more if the position is higher.
That's right, ma'am. We also give insurance from BPJS such as health insurance and retirement.
Okay,
Excuse me.
so yes, Java.
Excuse me. I want to give a report about the worker strike from freelancer. About 10 people want to
Okay, go
resign
on.
from the job since pandemic. Most of them complain about the wage that we give.
So how long do they work here, Mr. Dava?
Most of them have work here for a year.
About that, okay, I remember that. So lockdown police has started 5 months ago, right?
Yes,
Right.
right, ma'am.
Yes, right.
Okay. So I understand about that situation, but well, we also got a problem too about our income. Our income has decreased above 25% since lockdown effect. Well, I can do nothing since there a report about coronavirus in Jakarta, if I'm not mistaken. So the government, because of that, government announced the lockdown policy and And well, we haven't been ready yet at the time.
I agree with that, ma'am. So most workers in Indonesia got difficulty getting daily supplies.
Statement. But we have a regulation to work from home, right? My question is why they still complain about working from home? Didn't make any sense since we use the internet.
No.
Mm.
So working from home still affect on our expenditure. You know that it's not easy to get daily supply since the pandemic.
Yes, that's correct, Mr. Java. Thank you for the explanation. So, maybe based on my experience, well, I heard student also got the regulation. It's like a study from home, right? Well, of course, parent maybe will spend more money for that, and that's so difficult if we have less income. Just like I said earlier, but wait, I had news about PLT bantuan langsung tunai, right? Does anyone have further information about that?
It is a subvention from the government, ma'am. So the government will give cash transfer to the workers who have income as the government's wage standardization each month. The money will be transferred by via a bank account. Of course, there are requirements including the worker's income.
All right, maybe it can help us to solve the problem about the freelancer. Is that right?
What should we do to get that benefit?
Well, we have maybe the first step what should we do is about making a proposal about cash transfers first to the government. If we got a permission, well, we can do a questionnaire to all workers to get the data. If then we can send it to the BPJS insurance. Maybe Mr. Radia, I'll give you a responsibility about this problem.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe any other problem with the worker strike?
Today, we've got an information from my friend if there is a long march, there is also an oration from the leader of the long march.
Okay, yeah, I see. What did they talking about?
According to the information that I get, the oration talking about UU Cipta Kerja. The workers refused the regulation related to Omnibus Law 2.
Okay. I have heard about that. I also didn't agree with the regulation mentioned in the Omnibus Law. Actually, it's an old issue, but we also anticipate this case if government announce this policy soon.
I agree, ma'am. It harms the workers.
Yes, you're right. Maybe a week before this meeting, I've noticed several regulations which can harm the workers. It's about regarding the minimum wage. In Article 88C, if of the draft bill rates, the government set the minimum wage as a safety net, and further explain that minimum wage is provincial minimum, yeah, sorry, in government regulation, or I can say peraturan pemerintah number 78 of 2005, the determination of wages is carried out in the province and district or city. This setting the UMP and UMP as the only reference for the size of the salary, I guess. And then the second one is about cut severance pay. The government will cut the several pay requests by the employers if they are laid off, I guess, termination of employment. The value of the severance pay for workers has decreased because the government considered the existing regulation in law number 13 of 2003 concerning manpower ought to be unimplementable, and also about the removal permission or special leave, the job creation will change the provision for special leave or permits contained in law number 30 of 2003. Elimination of permit of special leave, among others, for leave or absence during the first day of menstruation, the need for marriage or the marriage, circumcision, baptism of children, wife giving birth, or miscarriage in the womb until a family member in one whole die. I guess that's the several.
That's right.
Okay.
Beside that, that's right. Beside that, outsourcing is getting less clear. The omnibus law makes the weight of outsourced work even more unclear because it removes Article 64 and 65 of the manpower law, which regulates outsourced worker. Meanwhile, the Article 64 of the manpower law states that the company may hand over the implementation of work to other companies through written agreement for the provision of labor and service. Article 65 regulates number one, submission of the part of execution of work to other company is carried out through a written contract or work arrangement. Article 2 regulates work that can be submitted to the other company as referred to in paragraph 1 must meet the following requirement: carrying out separately from the main activity, carried out by direct or indirect order from the employer. It's a supporting activity of the company as a whole and does not either be the production process directly. Provide space for the employer to contract worker independently. The omnibus work corporate law will provide space for the employees to contract a worker or laborer without the time limit. This job creating a bill evolution of the provision articles 56, 59 of the law, number 13 of 23. Concerning manpower, the article regulates the rule of for the specific time work agreement. PKWT can only be made for a maximum of 2 years and may only extend it once for a maximum period of the year.
Yes. Based on that, I think that's a bad idea. I guess me as a manager afraid if most of our workers do the strike, whether a strike is legal or legal, the business is affected, and it is imperative for employers to know their rights and to keep up to the date with current labor laws and legislation. Maybe some business may optimize to hire the workers to replace the striking employees, and perhaps increase if the strike continues for a long period of time. Yeah, maybe it's very important that the part-time or temporary workers have a contract by law. Employers does not have to remunerate striking workers for days not work. if the strike is legal, I think it could constitute as fair dismissal. Yeah, just kind of it.
Not only that, but striking employers also that belong to a union are under obligation to strike when the union determines they could be at risk of losing not only wage but benefits such as medical aid insurance and sick and holiday pay if the thing drags on for an extended period. If an employer is a union member and want to partake in the strike, he or she couldn't be at risk of being intimidated by members of the union. Members belonging to a union in a legal strike are protected from dismissal.
Okay. That's totally correct. That's totally correct. It's also, I mean, this problem is also exacerbated by the increase by cooking oil price. I know it's not related to worker strike, but it's also affect on the workers' wage.
Yes, although our business is a service company, the increase also have a bad effect on us. You know that we have canteen, right?
Yes.
Okay, the problem is about the food supply. We serve the lunch box start from 11 p.m. in session, which is cooked by the company. About this problem, should we stop the lunch giving, but we substitute is by a cash transfer?
Wait. So, the workers on canteen got retirement.
I think that has a risk on our money management too. In addition, our income this month has decreased 25% as Mrs. Dinda said earlier. Maybe it would be complicated if we give the canteen workers as retirement.
Okay. Well. All right, ladies and gentlemen. But now it is 11 a.m. and we have to take a break. Then we discuss again at least in 1 p.m. Later we discuss more about omnibus law and price increasing on basic commodities. So later we can discuss in board of direction, which will be announced in next month. Zili, you can end this meeting now.
Okay, thank you for the time, Ms. Dinda. Now it's 11 a.m. and it's time to end this meeting. We can have lunch, pray, and perhaps to do something else. Thank you for the time and see you in 1 p.m.
Thank you for the time.
Okay, see you. Don't forget to prepare but the report the credit about our income in this month. Maybe we can discuss the workers' wages. Also, there's something that I want to tell.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I will be the operator for the discussion.
Okay, so left has a break now. See you. You guys can leave the Zoom meeting right now.
Thank you, Ms. Dinda.
Thank you.